Crimson Tide Nation, what's your preference? A direct route to the playoffs or a trip to our holiday home in Atlanta? I mean, line them up and we'll knock them down. We'll knock the stuffing out of turkey. But here's the thing. If you take a loss in Atlanta, kind of end up with a bowl of citrus or oranges, or worse yet for my health, sugar. Either way, I think I better get a case of rum just in case this thing don't work out the way I need it to. Roll Tide, Bama Nation, roll Tide. Welcome to Sooner Week. Tide Nation, you know how special you are to me. Welcome to Tide Sports and Alabama Football Megacast. We are the People's Crimson Tide broadcast where we talk all things Alabama football, Alabama athletics, and the little matters that get in our way on the way to collecting our next championship. Tide fans, may God keep you all. Please tip a brother on the way in and smack that subscribe button and link up to Tide Sports. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers. Tell others about the great stuff you hear right here around the herd. Hey, folks. Well, I know if you saw the game, you already know about the total domination, the great execution that was displayed by our Crimson Tide. I mean, sadly, some of the players that played in the game, they waited 4 years to get on that field for a little while. They may never play again, but they did their part. Coach DeBoer and team definitely achieved my goals. And let me know what you thought of the overall performance of the team. Right now, right off the bat, don't want to take a lot of time tonight. Just want to get right to my keys to the game. I said, number one, that our offense needed to execute like you're playing LSU again, or let me see, is anybody else higher rated than that? Or Georgia again, because the LSU, they out of there. Just run it up quick, and boy, did they do that. I mean, we were up 31-7 at halftime, which is perfect, which led right next into my second key, was to get the backups in the game, get them plenty of work. Ty Simpson goes in the third maybe. Forget that. We played 4 quarterbacks, y'all. 4 quarterbacks. Milroe came in with his 11 for 16 for 186 and 2 tutties. And he was 68, 69%. That's not bad. But I like what I saw out of Ty Simpson. He knows how to keep a play moving. He knows how to avoid a sack. And that is key. He's in the competition for next year. Somebody I forgot about, Dylan Lonergan. He came in the game, 5 for 6. They were real short passes. But he did pass the ball. But I was really impressed by Austin Mack. I don't know if you saw he throw a 31-yard touchdown. Now, it was a 31-yard touchdown, not just like he threw it with pinpoint accuracy, tight spiral to the left side of the end zone, hit the man in a place that only his receiver, Rico Scott, could have made the play. He's young. We got a lot of potential. I like to see that. And talking about potential, I think I counted 13 people caught a ball the other day. Like 3 tight ends. Robbie Oops got off with a 44-yard touchdown. I love to see that. Love throw to the tight end because nobody covers tight ends. Even in the pros, they're not even covering tight ends no more. Anyway, not like they used to. So he had Dupree got a ball, and Savas. I think it's Cuvas or Savas. Josh Cuvas. He had 2 touches, and I love that. I mean, Rico Scott, Caleb Odom, Kevin Riley. I don't even know who Kevin Riley is. Okay, Kobe Prentice got in there. Jam caught one. It was just a good day to get everybody in the game and see what so we can see what everybody's doing, and more importantly, from a coach's standpoint. You see what everybody's working with, because you never know if you got a gamer. I remember stories from my high school. A guy never played, and he got in the game. He just ran for 170 yards. Don't ask me on who, but for a person that didn't play for 4 years to get in the game and run for almost 200 yards, somebody should be questioning the coach. But I'm going to move on past that. Anyway, it was good to get those guys in the game, give them some film. So just in case they decide to go to greener pastures, they got some tape to go with them. But if they stay there, we can say, get on them. You can ride them. You say, hey, you remember this? Remember you did that? That's right. You put up the remote control and you get to work on whatever deficiencies they may have to make them better for next year. Because you got to be ready. Just like we lost Q Robinson. Hey, and Pierre had to get in there. I will pronounce his first name, but it's kind of difficult. I haven't figured it out yet. But he got in there and did his part. He had to step up, next man up. He was number 3 last week, number 2 this week. He got in there and did the job. My third key for the offense was to pound them into submission. Just let Jalen get some rest and let the backs work. Where our backs did their job. Jalen did not have the highest number of rushes. He had 6 rushes for the whole game. So happy. Ryan Williams got a long run for a touchdown. And I don't know how many people here. It's about another 11 people touched the ball. I mean, I like Richard Young. I want to say something. Richard Young, he averaged 3.7. He had 7. He runs the way I love. I mean, his shoulders are square. He hits that hole. He's going wide open. He like to cut once he gets to the linebackers. He don't cut at the defensive linemen. Some people, that's what they do. This man runs with intensity, and I love it. The future is bright. Now I see why people, I ain't going to Crips Tide. They got all them running backs. We got the shelves are not bare. I will admit that. But let's see who had the most yards. Well, Jalen did have the most yards on the game, followed by Justice Haynes. Now I take that. The Tide ran 42 times for 211. Now I know it was on a FCS school, but hey, I just want to see the execution. I want to see some people get to work. For the defense, first key I said, health is wealth. That's for everybody. But we want to work in the bench after taking a commanding lead. A commanding lead lane. Must be driving on the highway. Something's on my brain. Anyway, a commanding lead, like I said, 21 points up in the first half. Well, we did better than that. And overall, pleased to say they had no major injuries this game, and that's great. We got the backups were sprinkling all over the place and still had a 31-7 lead come halftime. I mean, that's just good. That's just good. That's execution because, even when you got young people in there, sometimes you put your sophomore in there, he's still playing against a senior, a grown man, probably a grad student, could be 22, 23 years old, but we still handle business for whoever Mercer sent our way. And I just like to see that, get that opportunity to get those guys worked into the game because you don't know. Like, I can't put you in the game. Why? Because what you did at Mercer. Oh, yeah, we're going to need you to step up. Old boy twisted his ankle. I thought I was number 7 on the depth chart. Do you want to play? Just because I know what the film say. I mean, if you want to play, you need to get on here because you ain't number 7 no more. You number 4. You jumped over 5 and 7 because what I saw at Mercer. We're going to give it a try. So I like to see people get worked into the game and just, build them up. Next, I said we need to keep their running game in check. Get that live fire work in, get that work on that run defense. So the new buzzwords I heard over the last couple of years, the run fit, run defense, whatever. The Tide held those guys 7-8 yards, which is good because, even though they are FCS school, we could have been like another FCS or FBS school. FCS Power, North Dakota State, they were able to run for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns against an FBS school who's currently ranked in the top 25. So I'm glad we executed well, keeping them guys at 78 and keeping them, keeping them in check for the most part. We let them get a score, but I was okay. I had to call the score 53 or 52-9, and whatever it was all right with me. It's not even a big deal. I just want to win and come out healthy. But my third key for our defense was I wanted 14 game-changing plays, but more importantly, against LSU, say a prayer for LSU because they going through it down there. They're going through it. And from the bottom of my heart, I mean, I hope these people can sleep at night because they just wonder what's going to happen next. I'll get more on that later. But, I wanted us to be able to get some 3 and outs to go with these game-changing plays for the defense. I wanted to see like 5 3 and outs because we didn't have one against LSU. Not a one. So when we count them up, the game-changing plays, we had 4 tackles for loss, had 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles recovered. Well, 2 fumbles recovered. Don't care how it comes out. Don't matter if you don't recover. So we had 2 fumbles recovered, 5 pass breakups, 1 interception, and 4 3 and outs. That's pretty good. We're a little shorter than what I wanted to 5, but 16 game changers is pretty good considering the number of players we rotated in and out of the game all day. When I counted it all up, I think the Tide played about 90 players or something. It was crazy because I was counting players in the game log. I was counting players. They put a big paragraph of players down. I'm trying to count them. My eyes all running together. And I got to like 58. Then I went to 62, and I'm like, that ain't right. But I had about 10, 12 to go. But that group doesn't include the starters. So that's like 80. So I'm thinking about 80 or 90 people played. That's really good when you count the number of people that are injured and the people that were probably red-shirted or, people you really don't want hanging around the meeting room, let alone on the field. I think they had an outstanding day. I hope you were pleased with the performance. I just, I'm glad we were just healthy, and that's the most important thing. Let me check this real quick. Now, we're getting ready for the Oklahoma Sooners. I haven't looked at all that. Coach DeBoer, Coach Womack, and Coach Nick Sheridan. I gave him his name back, y'all. I don't call him Slick no more. They were talking about what they got to do. And more important, more than anything else, people worry about the crowd. Like I said, somebody on the coaching staff, the wide receiver coach, was not worried about the crowd at Tennessee. Obviously, he got to somebody else because they wouldn't worry about it either. But it caused us problems. By the time we got to Baton Rouge, they had worked on it. And we're expecting a big turnout with the crowd in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they may get it up. They may raise the roof. We don't know if they raise the roof SEC style, but we'll see. But this gives us another chance to work on that communication that we would need going into maybe the playoffs, maybe the SEC championship, or just the Orange Bowl or the Sugar Bowl. I don't know. Now, we go back and forth with this thing. People are saying, do we need to go to the SEC championship? Well, I don't think this team needs the SEC championship as much as they need a national title run. I don't need to see Alabama dominate somebody in Atlanta. I don't need to see that. What I need to see is this team, our Crimson Tide, kick somebody's butt in the first round of the playoffs. I'm good with that. Now, if we have to go to Atlanta, I hope we play against somebody we can get some retribution against, like Tennessee. I'll be glad to play Tennessee again, but I'd rather play them in the playoffs and break their hearts. That's ooh. And I saw one of these brackets had us up against Notre Dame. That just made me feel so just warm inside. Just thinking about trying to play some of these suckers from these other conferences. Now, I ain't talking about Ohio State. I'm not talking. I really am not. I really respect Ohio State. I'm not talking about them. But if you put Indiana in front of this Crimson Tide tomorrow, we will destroy them. They will want to drop their program, and they wouldn't even want to play us in basketball. That's all I got to say about it. But I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look into the Oklahoma game. Please hit that notification bell so when I drop the video or any video or go live, you'll know that I have done so. Now, I wanted to say a little bit about our basketball team. The ladies of the Crimson Tide basketball team, killing it, killing it, killing it, killing it, killing it. Currently ranked 22nd in the nation, 6-0. Christy Curry has these ladies rolling like they're supposed to. They have taken out, they beat the University of New Orleans by like 60 plus, Alabama A&M by 25, Troy by 23. They had a close game against Norfolk State, which I'm kind of happy for Norfolk, but I don't know. Maybe it was bad crab or something. I don't know what happened in that game. It was a little close. Then they got back to their winning ways and destroyed Alcorn State by 29. And recently, they took down Louisiana Monroe 75-52. On November 25th, they take on my nemesis from my days at Tuskegee. That's right. They play Alabama State. Needless to say, I hope the Lady Crimson Tide basketball team rolls over them like a giant steamroller. Yes, I want them destroyed. As for the men, Coach Oates was rolling at 3-0, and he took the team up the Boilermaker country. It was an early test for the season. It's kind of like with safety. You got to test yourself out. And in basketball, one loss ain't that bad, but the Tide let it slip away at the end, 78 points to 87. I mean, it was close. The score was real tight for the longest. Tight, like me. It was tight for the longest. Purdue had a 4-point lead, 3 or 4 point lead with about 4 minutes left in the game. Then they just started dropping wide open threes. Tide couldn't hit the back side of a barn, but here's what I saw. It was a great test because, our team is still gelling. Them guys coming from this way, people transferred. Coach Oates got to gel them together, but you could tell that Purdue had been working together. The big guy they had last year, I thought him being gone, I thought we had a chance. They got another dude. He ain't as tall, but he is active. So Purdue was more used to executing together on both ends of the court. In time, I expect Coach Oates will work on defending them open three-pointers that I saw. They ain't get a bunch of them. They got enough. Like I said, they pulled out right at the end, and they can become a lot less predictable. Like, we can't always throw it to our guard, although he is awesome, but you can't always throw it to him. Sometimes he get, somebody start guarding he wearing this guy got a straight jacket on. So he got to be able to just don't go to him as the bailout. Sometimes we got to go to somebody else, and they just filling each other out. Become a lot less predictable and find out who can stay cool, who can drop shots like Mark Sears. 2 or 3 other people have to be developed to having that kind of ice water in their vein, especially when you're on the road. Or make everybody just better shooters. They are great players, I know. Offensive rebounding, sharing, passing, it'll all improve going forward. I mean, Coach Oates is great, and I know he'll fix it. And that's what we were saying. The portal is nice, but someone has to coach the recruits and the transfers on how to properly work together. And, I'm sure Coach Oates will figure it out pretty quickly before the conference play begins. Now, speaking of recruits, in recruiting news, Alabama fell 4 positions in the on-3 industry rankings as far as recruiting classes. We were number 1. Then we lost Caleb Cunningham. That was a 5-star. And we were down number 2 for the 2025 class. And I'm all here for it, man. I mean, we also lost Dawson Merritt, who decided to stay out in the Midwest, and Anthony Rogers of Montgomery. He's played at, I think, 3 high schools. They call him Anthony Turbo Rogers. I think a lot of them. I want these guys to do the best they can for their families. Both of the Rogers and Merritt are 4-stars, but highly talented. I mean, Rogers showed out on 2 high schools in Montgomery, with 2 high schools in Montgomery, and also was the IMG Academy for 1 year down in Florida. But I'm all here for it because if your team is struggling because your coaching is lacking, or your coaches' coaching is lacking. Yeah, coaches, 'S, showing possession of coaching skills is lacking. These coaches have to come up a way of not getting fired. All of us got to keep our jobs, right? So here's the new thing. I just heard an LSU fan. Shout out to you, I think Mr. Dugas or Dugas. I know he has that Louisiana that the New Orleans accent, so I may be saying it wrong, but he was just talking about it. Man, they want to fire everybody down there at LSU. They want to fire. They need to fire this guy. We need to get Kelly out of here. But he said the only thing that's keeping Kelly around is the recruiting class. If it wasn't for this recruiting class coming, we'd get Brian Kelly up out of here because he ain't getting it done. Oh, but we can't fire him because that recruiting class is coming. Oh, we can fire offense coordinator Joe Sloan down at LSU. Oh, they can't do that. Why they can't do that? Because he has this connection with Bryce Underwood. So it's like if you fire Kelly or if you fire Joe Sloan, then they're going to lose their recruiting class. Well, here's the thing. If the recruiting class comes in to be the savior next year, then I don't know how, if your older folks can't play, what makes you think the newer people are going to be able to play? But that's the thing. The coaches know they'll be able to say, well, he's young, and we got to get him into the way we do things here at fill in the blank. It ain't just LSU. Everybody play the same game. I remember watching the coach one time. He went through 7 coordinators in 6 years, 4 on offense, 3 on defense. That helped him to, get a better job. Keep his job, get new contracts. And like I said, shout out to Mr. Dugas, but, he answered his own dilemma. They can't fire Brian Kelly. They stuck with him. Keep your head up, player, though, But he said in 2 years, they better be playing for a natty and he gone. I don't know. They're going to have better players, but they're going to have another excuse. You got to coach him. I don't care. You got to coach him. It begs the question that I have been asking all year about all this NIL era. Like that dog that finally catches up to the car tire, what are you going to do with it now? Saban the GOAT always talked about this. And many people gloss over it. Oh, man, our recruit class is going to be the bomb. Yeah, but you got 4 losses, 5 losses. You're under 500 right now, but your recruiting class is, these people in high school going to change your whole universe. How is that possible? If your man can't coach grown people now for like 2 to 3 years, what is he producing? Especially if you come in and you got, he's great at defense. Oh, well, his receivers have done this. Or he's a quarterback guy. Or his scheme has just been, it's revolutionary. But your team got somewhere between 1 and 5 losses. It happened to Jimbo Fisher, folks. Was he riding the coattails of Nick Saban and Bobby Bowden? It's going to happen to somebody. Go look at Jimbo's recruits when he left out of FSU, which I thought was crazy. But now that I understand, $76 million, maybe I'm the crazy one. But go look at his recruits. He got Texas A&M and how much they supposed to have cost them. And they were going to do this. And everybody was scared. But here's the thing. They got a coach now. They got a coach. I ain't hear all the hoopla. They got people that broke camp out of Texas A&M too, but they got a coach now. Things are looking better now. Things are looking like they were supposed to look with Jimbo. But maybe Elko can coach and he don't recruit as well. That's not the case. But I gotta go with my man Dion. Dion went to the portal, got all those players, lost. Jumped back in the portal, got a bunch of players, but people missed this part. Some coaches went to the portal too at Colorado. And they look big in time better. A billion times better. Might see them in the playoffs. The Jimmies and the Joes have taken Alabama out from time to time. A la Bo Wallace and, this player, that player at Arkansas, I think, beat Saban one time. We was like, oh, man, Jimmies and Joes have taken out Alabama from time to time. But the modern master of the X's and O's, Nick Saban, has taken home talent because he's the supreme master of coaching, talent recognition, and building player development. That's the bottom line. You got to be able to coach these people that you bring into your program, or you ain't going nowhere. And, just let me know. How do you explain Mike Norvell and Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, and many others to come? There's going to be more that are in coaching jobs They in over their head. Let me know what you think in the comments if you get a chance to watch this video. And for this week, that's all I have on Around the Herd. Remember, join us here every Monday at 7:30 for Around the Herd. And please come back when you get your notification. We have Iron Bowl debates. They drop every Wednesday at 6 p.m. and Friday morning. Just click on the notification bell and you'll know when it drops. And other videos I may drop from time to time. Like I said, I drop the pressers with the coaches. I do analysis about some other stuff. But, other than that, we'll see you next time on Around the Herd or whenever. Just check me out. Tell your friends about the great things we do here on Around the Herd. And always remember, I'm going to start it over. Roll, Tide, roll.